Senate will come to order. The Secretary will call the roll.
Bear, Bayer, Bach, Brackett, Buckner-Webb, Cameron, Davis, Durst, Fulcher, Getty, Guthrie, Hagedorn, Hyder, Hill, Johnson, Keogh, Lacey, Lakey, Lodge, Martin, McKenzie, Mortimer, Nonini, Nuxel, Patrick, Pierce, Rice, Schmidt, Sidaway, Stennett, Thane, Tippett, Fick, Work, Winder, Brackett, Cameron, Davis, Getty, Lodge, Pierce,
Roll call shows 30 present, 5 absent excused. Senator Davis has an excused absence. Quorum being present, Senate would advance to the second order of business. Prayer by Chaplain James Wiberding and Pledge of Allegiance. We'd ask all our friends in the gallery to rise and join us in prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, you were not content to leave a formless void, but introduced life and meaning. You did not stand idle when our world needed saving, but offered yourself to the task. You seem never content to leave things as they are when you can make them better. On a much smaller scale, but in the same spirit, these senators and their president have chosen not to be sideline citizens, but to become leaders. The issues are increasing, many tough issues that they must lead on. But they became leaders, I believe, so that they could make things better. I pray that you will bless them in that intent. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. We'll now be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by our page, Jessica Kennedy. Jessica.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Senators Pierce and Senator Pierce will be recognized in this order of business. Senate will advance third order of business, reading corrections journal.
February 8th, 2013, the Judiciary and Rules Committee reports that the Senate Journal of the proceedings of February 7th, 2013 was read and approved as corrected. Lodge, Chairman.
The report will be filed in the office of Secretary Senator Winder.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ask the United Senate go at ease. Somebody call the chair.
Senate meeting.
Mr. President, we have the privilege this morning of having an original document from the 1863 era, signed by President Lincoln, appointing the state to become, or actually acknowledging the state as the territory of Idaho. And probably people that live in northern Idaho know this history a lot better than I do, but apparently one of the motivations for this separation from the Washington Territory was to separate the mining areas of Idaho from Washington. And at that time, soon to be the first governor of the territory, Wallace, worked hard to separate that. He'd actually been a delegate from the territory of Washington and worked hard to separate that. He was actually appointed the first territorial governor by the Congress on the 17th of March in 1863, and we have this wonderful document here today that we can look at and enjoy. And I think as we think about our history, we've come a long ways in those 150 years. Idaho's a wonderful place to live and raise families, do business, and I don't know about how you feel about it, but I feel really honored to live in this state, to serve the people of Idaho, and to follow up on the great traditions of our founders of this great state of Idaho. And with that, Mr. President, we are at ease, and I'll give an opportunity for some announcements. First, I'd ask the Pro Tem to follow up on my comments.
I want to thank Historical Society and others who have made this possible. That's quite a historical document. There may be some that would like to take some photographs, even with themselves with it or whatever. As we're still at ease, they will come and remove it because they're going to take it over to the House, to the chambers across the rotunda. And if any of you would like to look at it closer or do any of those other things, it will be available in that chamber, and you're welcome to go over and visit it at that time upon adjournment. Thank you.
Senator Durst.
Mr. President, for an announcement, or introduction, pardon me. Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, it's my pleasure to introduce to you my wife, Jamie, and her team partner, Molly's 5th grade class from Christine Donnell School of the Arts. And before you say hello, I should point out that just a couple days ago, Superintendent Luna awarded Mrs. Durst and Mrs. Koschel's court class 2nd place for the 21st Century Classroom Technology Integration Video Award. So what you'll find is a bunch of 5th graders with iPads running around our chambers today, or running around our Capitol building, and they'd love to ask you questions and find out more about you. Donnell School of the Arts is actually located in Senator Baer's district, so many of the students here live in that district, but it's really great to have them all here, and we wish you say hello to them, please.
Senator Lacey.
Mr. President, for an introduction.
You have the floor.
Very proud to have my wife here with us today. Renee, she came up yesterday to spend her birthday evening with me, so welcome. Please help her welcome. Thank you.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President, for an introduction. I do have a longtime resident and good friend, Tom Blanchard, in the audience, and would like to say hello to him. Thank you.
Further announcements. Senator Winder.
Mr. President, while we're at ease, we'll be at ease, and we need to remove the document. As the Pro Tem mentioned, there'll be an opportunity later after the House also presents this on their floor to have your picture taken with it if you wish to do that after we adjourn. So we'll continue at ease. Going to be a little bit of disruption here for a minute, but if you want to visit or whatever, we'll remove the document and then get back in order.
Senator, did you say they have to say sesquicentennial correctly 3 times before they can have their picture taken with it?
I think that's a wonderful idea, President.
Okay. Senate will come to order. Senate's in the third order of business. Senator Cameron, Senator Lodge will be recognized present at this order of business. Senator Winder.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate advance to the fifth order of business.
Without objection, the Senate will advance to fifth order of business. Petitions, resolutions, and memorials. Senator Winder.
President, ask unanimous consent that all petitions, resolutions, and memorial be read by author or name author and title only, and journal shall have been read at length.
Without objection, so ordered.
In the Senate, Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 111 by Transportation Committee. A concurrent resolution stating findings of the legislature and directing the Idaho Transportation Department, the Idaho Department of Agriculture, and the Idaho Department of Commerce to continue and facilitate a statewide freight transportation task force.
SCR 111 will be referred to the Judiciary and Rules Committee for printing.
There is no further business in the fifth order, Mr. President.
Senate will advance to sixth order of business. Reports to standing committee. Senate's at the sixth order of business.
February 8, 2013, the Judiciary and Rules Committee reports that Senate Bill 1059, 1060, 1061, 1062, 1063, Senate Concurrent Resolutions 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, and 110 have been correctly printed. Lodge Chairman.
Senate Bills 1059 and 1060 will refer to the Judiciary and Rules Committee. Senate Bills 1061, 1062 will be referred to Resources and Environment. Senate Bill 1063 will be reported to Health and Welfare. And Senate Concurrent Resolutions 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, and 110 will all be referred to the 10th order of business and held for one legislative day.
February 7, 2013, the Transportation Committee reports out House Bill 19 and House Bill 21 and recommend that they do pass. Bracket Chairman.
House Bills 19 and House Bills 21 will refer to the 12th order of business.
February 7, 2013, the Local Government and Taxation Committee reports out House Bill 20, 24, 25, and House Bill 52 and recommend that they do pass. Sit away, Chairman.
House Bills 20, 24, 25, and 52 will refer to the 12th order of business, second reading calendar.
February 8, 2013, the Transportation Committee reports it has had under consideration the gubernatorial appointment of R. James Coleman to the Idaho Transportation Board, term to expire January 31, 2019. The committee recommends that said appointment be confirmed by the Senate. Bracket Chairman.
Board of the Transportation Committee will refer to the 10th order of business and held for one legislative day.
February 8, 2013, the Commerce and Human Resources Committee reports out Senate Bill 1042 and recommend that it do pass. Tippett, Chairman.
Senate Bill 1042 will be referred to the 12th order of business, second reading.
February 8, 2013, the Commerce and Human Resources Committee reports it has had under consideration the gubernatorial appointments of Thomas E. Limbaugh to the Idaho Industrial Commission, term to expire January 14, 2019, and Diana M. Bishop to the Idaho Personnel Commission, term to expire July 1, 2018. The committee recommends that said appointments be confirmed by the Senate. Tippett's Chairman.
The report of the Commerce and Human Resources Committee on the appointment of Tom Limbaugh and Diana Bishop will refer to the 10th order of business and held for one legislative day.
There is no further business in the sixth order, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Senator Winder.
ask unanimous consent, Senate advance to the ninth order of
Without
business.
objection, Senate advance to the 9th order of business. Message from the House. Senate's at the 9th order of business.
February 7, 2013. Mr. President, I transmit herewith House Bill 66, 85, 81, 82, 83, 84, 73, and House Bill 87, which have passed the House. Alexander, Chief Clerk.
House Bills 66, 85, 81, 82, 83, 84, 73, and 87 will all be referred to the 11th order of business for introduction.
February 7, 2013. Mr. President, I return herewith Senate Concurrent Resolution 101, which has passed the House. Alexander, Chief Clerk.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 101 will refer to the Judiciary and Rules Committee for enrolling.
February 7, 2013. Mr. President, I transmit herewith enrolled House Bill 4 for the signature of the President. Alexander, Chief Clerk.
The President has signed House Bill 4, and it will be returned to the House.
February 8, 2013. Mr. President, I return herewith Senate Concurrent Resolution 102, which has been signed by the Speaker. Alexander, Chief Clerk.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 102 will be delivered to the Secretary of State.
There is no further business in the ninth order, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Senator Winder.
ask unanimous consent the Senate advance the 11th order of business.
Objection, Senate advance the 11th order of business. First reading of bill. Senate's at the 11th order of business. Senator Winder.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that all bills on first reading be read by number, author, and title only. The journal shall have been read at length.
That objection, so ordered.
In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1064 by Transportation Committee, an act relating to permits for overweight or oversized loads, to remove references to a pilot project and to make technical corrections. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1065 by Transportation Committee, an act relating to amateur radio towers, to include citizens band radio and amateur radio towers in structures exempt from standards for guide towers. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1066 by Transportation Committee, an act relating to permits for overweight or oversized loads, to remove references to a pilot project. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1067 by Transportation Committee, an act relating to aeronautics, to establish provisions relating to restrictions on gathering evidence or other information through the use of a drone or other unmanned aircraft. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1068 by Commerce and Human Resources Committee, an act relating to members of the armed services and their spouses, to provide for a provisional certificate for a service member or the spouse of a service member. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1069 by Local Government and Taxation Committee, an act relating to solid waste disposal, to establish provisions relating to compliance with notice and meeting provisions in certain circumstances. In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1070 by Local Government and Taxation Committee, an act relating to charges for motor vehicle traffic incident responses.
Senate Bills 1064, 1065, 1066, 1067, 1068, 1069, and 1070 will all be referred to the Judiciary and Rules Committee for printing.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 66 by Transportation and Defense Committee, an act relating to the Rural Economic Development and Integrated Freight Transportation System. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 85 by Transportation and Defense Committee, an act relating to single countywide highway districts, to establish provisions relating to determining a vacancy on a single countywide highway district board. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 81 by Education Committee, an act relating to procuring and purchasing by certain institutions of higher education. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 82 by Education Committee, an act relating to workers' compensation, to revise a definition to provide that certain work experience students shall be covered by the Idaho Higher Education Policy. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 83 by Education Committee, an act relating to proprietary schools, to revise provisions relating to a condition of registration. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 84 by Education Committee, an act relating to education, to provide that certain abatement of unsafe public school facilities shall be performed exclusively in accordance with certain requirements of the Division of Building Safety. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 73 by State Affairs Committee, an act relating to information, technology, and telecommunications. In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 87 by Revenue and Taxation Committee, an act relating to wine excise tax.
House Bills 66 and 85 will be referred to the Transportation Committee. House Bills 81, 82, 83, and 84 will all be referred to the Education Committee. House Bill 73 will be referred to the State Affairs Committee, and House Bill 87 will be referred to Local Government and Taxation.
There is no further business in the 11th order, Mr. President.
Senate advances 12th order of business, second reading of bills. Senate's at the 12th order of business. Senator Winder.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent that all bills on the second reading calendar be read by number and title only, or author only, excuse me. The journal show they've been read at length.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
Representatives, House Bill number 37 by Environment, Energy, and Technology Committee.
House Bill 37 will be referred to the 13th order of business, third reading calendar.
There is no further business in the 12th order, Mr. President.
Senate will advance 13th order of business, third reading of bills. Senate's at the 13th order of business, has for final consideration Senate Bill 1024. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1024 by Agricultural Affairs Committee, an act relating to sheep and goats, to revise provisions relating...
Mr. President.
Senator Baird.
I ask unanimous consent that further reading of Senate Bill 1024 to be dispensed with, and the journal show that it has been read at length a third time, section by section, and is before the Senate for final consideration.
Senator Baird is recognized. Open debate.
Before I dive into the intricacies of the bill, my good seatmate and I were discussing this bill and how best to approach the debate this morning, and we were discussing the defining differences between sheep and goats. It's always been here.
One of them will eat your upholstery.
And one of them is your upholstery. The defining difference has always been wool and hair, but my seatmate assured me that there are now breeds of sheep that grow hair instead of wool. It becomes a great mystery to me. This bill, Senators, is a result of House Bill 512 as amended, that passed last year, and added the goat portion to the health board in the state of Idaho. In order to have goat herders serve on that board, we needed to add lines number 13 and 14 that allows goat members to serve on the board. The other portion of this bill is found on the third page, lines 19 and 20. As the gentleman on the second floor signed the bill last year, he put a note with the transmittal, and he said that the state ought to have the right to audit the Sheep and Goat Health Board. So sentences on the sentence on line 19 and 20 grant that authority to the state to hold audits as they wish. With that, Mr. President, debate is open.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Baer is recognized to close debate.
Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. Question is, will Senate Bill 1024 pass? The Senate Secretary will call the roll.
Baer. Baer. Bach. Brackett. Buckner-Webb. Cameron. Davis. Durst. Fulcher. Getty. Guthrie. Hagedorn. Hyder. Hill. Johnson. Keogh. Lacey. Lakey. Lodge. Martin. McKenzie. Mortimer. Nonini. Nuxel. Patrick. Pierce. Rice. Schmidt. Sidaway. Stennett. Thane. Tippett. Vick. Work. Winder. Buckner-Webb. Davis. Getty.
Roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent, excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. Senate Bill 1024 has passed Senate. The correction of the title. Hearing none, the title is approved. Senate Bill 1024 will be transmitted to the House. Senate now has, for final consideration, House Bill number 5. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 5 by Revenue and Taxation Committee, an act relating to cigarette and tobacco product taxes to clarify permitting requirements for persons actively engaged.
Mr. President.
Senator Baer.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that further reading of House Bill 5 be dispensed with and the journal show that it has been read for a third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Baer is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, good senators. Current law makes it unlawful for a person to act as a wholesaler of cigarettes without a permit. The statute also requires that a permit shall be held only by persons actively engaged in making wholesale cigarettes subject to tax. Some manufacturers or wholesalers of cigarettes may move cigarettes into and around the state that are tax exempt, such as sales to tribes in the military and such. Even though a cigarette tax stamp is not applied to these cigarettes, the movement of these cigarettes is still required to be reported on your cigarette tax return. Some wholesalers believe that since the cigarettes are sold tax exempt, they do not need a permit. To clarify that and avoid any confusion, and to make clear that a permit is required for the sale of all cigarettes from wholesalers, the bill strikes the words "subject to tax" under this chapter. This change will prevent any inadvertent noncompliance by cigarette wholesalers. Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is open.
Further debate on House Bill number 5. Hearing no further debate, Senator Baer is recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. Question is, so House Bill number 5 passed the Senate. Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President,
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the roll call vote used for the final passage of Senate Bill 1024 now be used for the final passage of House Bill 5.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent, excused, majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill number 5 passed the Senate. Their corrections to the title. Hearing none, the title is approved, and House Bill number 5 will be returned to the House. Senate now is for final consideration. Senate Bill 1032. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1032 by Judiciary and Rules Committee, an act relating to public assistance to clarify verbiage to provide that conduct relating to certain fraudulent acts.
Mr. President.
Senator Bach.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that further reading of Senate Bill 1032 be dispensed with, and the journal show it has been read the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Bach is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had tried to persuade the good senator from 35 to engage in a lengthy discussion of the differences between goats and sheep, so maybe I could put off presenting until Monday, but he didn't want to accommodate me. At any rate, this is a fairly simple bill, and it goes back to the Kennedy-Kassenbaum bill, which created some liabilities for people who, in the process of planning, doing Medicaid planning, that essentially allowed them to dispose of some property or transfer property, would somehow become liable, even though that planning process was perfectly legal. Now, what happened was, there was an outcry about this, and subsequent to that change, the law was changed so that, well, we will then hold or impose the same liability on people advising Medicaid planning. This included attorneys, of course, and tongue-in-cheek, the attorneys brought this to us because they're still concerned that what is archaic language is on the book. It's actually unconstitutional. TEPI, which is, I think many of you know, one organization within the bar that really studies this legislation, and of course Bob Aldridge is someone who we look to provide us with pretty comprehensive advice on these kind of subjects. So the purpose of this bill, to try to make a long story short, is to eliminate that archaic language so that people who are advising clients about Medicaid planning cannot somehow be thrown into a position of liability when, in fact, what they're doing is perfectly legal. So with that, fellow senators, debate is open.
For the debate on Senate Bill 1032. Hearing no further debate, Senator Bach is recognized to close debate.
Mr. President, fellow senators, debate is closed.
Debate being closed. The question is, will Senate Bill 1032 pass the Senate? Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the roll call vote using the final passage of Senate Bill 1024 now be used for the final passage of Senate Bill 1032.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent, excused, majority haven't voted in the affirmative. Senate Bill 1032 has passed the Senate. Their corrections. Title, hearing none, title is approved. Senate Bill 1032 will be transmitted to the House. Senate now is for final consideration. Senate Bill 1010, the Secretary will read the bill.
In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1010 by Health and Welfare Committee, an act relating to medical assistance services to revise provisions of behavioral health services for Medicaid participants.
Mr. President.
Senator Hagedorn.
Mr. President, I would ask unanimous consent to dispense with the further reading of Senate Bill 1010 and that the journal show that it has been read the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, so ordered. Senator Hagedorn is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Bill 1010 is a continuation to codify what this body passed in 2011 to help streamline our Medicaid managed care. Basically, is what it's trying to do. In that plan, we directed Health and Welfare to change its managed care contracts to pay for behavioral health benefits, and at a minimum, the system should include independent, standardized, statewide assessment and evidence-based benefits by business that meet national accreditation standards. Simply, this bill changes mental health to behavioral health, which will encompass
what both mental health and behavioral health and substance abuse disorders. It changes Title 56, subsection 5, and to make it clear that Medicaid participants may receive behavioral health services based on individualized need and evidence practices, and it eliminates specific limitations currently defined in statute. Instead, the contract between Medicaid and a managed care entity will cover services based on evidence-based practices and national standards. These statutes have no impact on the general funds, and again codifies what we did in 2011 to standardize our Medicaid practices. Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is open.
Debate being open for further debate of Senate Bill 1010. Hearing no further debate, Senator Hagedorn is recognized to close debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. Question is, will Senate Bill 1010 pass? Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the roll call vote used in the final passage of Senate Bill 1024 now be used for the final passage of Senate Bill 1010.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent, excused. Majority having voted in the affirmative. Senate Bill 1010 is passed. Senate of the correction title. Hearing none, title is approved. Senate Bill 1010 will be transmitted to the House. Senate now has for final consideration Senate Bill 1043. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1043 by Transportation Committee, an act relating to motor vehicle driver's licenses and identification cards, to provide that a licensee who is a veteran may request that his or her status as such be designated on his or her driver's license.
Mr. President.
Senator Hagedorn.
Mr. President, I'd ask unanimous consent that the further reading of Senate Bill 1043 be dispensed with, and the journal show that it's been read the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Hagedorn is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, Senate Bill 1043 is a bill that has been long in coming. We've had a number of issues in the past in trying to be able to designate or place a voluntary designation on a driver's license for a veteran in our state. And the roadblocks to that have not been the lack of desire, but the lack of technology. Our DMV system for many, many, many years has been programmed in Fortran. And just in a recent couple of years, we've been able to move that off of that system into the 20th century, and we now have a system that's much more flexible. Where before if we were to try and put a special designator on a driver's license, it would have cost us thousands and thousands of dollars to go find old Fortran programmers like me to go back in and redo the code. That's no longer the case, and Fortran programmers like me are now going to become extinct. So this basically enables a veteran of the state to go to DMV and ask for a voluntary designation on their driver's license after proper proof that they are a veteran, so that driver's license may reflect that that person is a veteran. Now, there might be some question as to why we want to do this. Some might think this is important because we could get discounts for stores that offer veteran discounts. This is not why we're doing it. The reason that we do this, as an example, if there's a car accident and a first responder comes to that car accident and pulls a driver's license and sees that this person is a veteran, they think a little bit differently about how they treat the situation, where they might take this person for emergency room, or how they might treat the person for or look for things like PTSD or situations like that. It also allows our Division of Veteran Services to be able to push information to these people that have voluntarily located this thing on their driver's license to inform them of potential benefits that they have from the VA and from the state. Today, the Division of Veteran Services only knows how many veterans are in the state if the veteran actually contacts the Division of Veteran Services and says, hey, I'm here. I never did that. I know very few veterans that do that. So this is a very simple way for a veteran to actually get into that registry so they can understand what kind of benefits the state does offer to them. This is a good bill, been a very long time in coming, and I would ask for your yes vote on this. With that, Mr. President, debate is open.
Debate being open, is there further debate? Senate Bill 1043. Hearing no further debate, Senator Hagedorn is recognized. Closed debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. Question is, Senate Bill 1043 passes Senate. Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent, the roll call vote using the final passage of Senate Bill 1024. Withdraw the motion, Mr. President.
Secretary will call the roll.
Baer. Bayer. Bach. Brackett. Buckner-Webb. Cameron. Davis. Durst. Fulcher. Getty. Guthrie. Hagedorn.
Aye.
Hyder. Hill. Johnson. Keogh. Lacey. Lakey. Lodge. Martin. McKenzie. Mortimer. Nonini. Nuxel. Patrick. Pierce. Rice. Schmidt. Sidaway. Stennett. Thane. Tippett. Fick. Work. Winder. Bach. Davis. Getty. Hill. Rice. Schmidt.
Senator Schmidt.
To explain my vote, Mr.
60
President.
seconds, Senator.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I appreciate the effort that the senator from 14 has done for this, and I think it's a valuable process. However, I have concerns about designations on license plates and how far we're going to go. So I'm going to be voting no.
Senator Schmidt will be recorded as voting no.
Stennett. Work.
Roll call shows 32 ayes, 1 no, 2 absent excused. Majority have voted in the affirmative. Senate Bill 1044 is passed. Senate, the correction title. Hearing none, the title is approved. Senate Bill 1043 will be transmitted to the House. Senate now is for final consideration. Senate Bill 1044. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the Senate, Senate Bill number 1044 by Transportation Committee, an act relating to motorcycles, to revise the definition of motorcycle and to make technical corrections.
Mr. President.
Senator Hagedorn.
Mr. President, I would ask unanimous consent to dispense with a further reading of Senate Bill 1044 and that the Journal reflect that it's been read the third time at length, section by section, and placed before the Senate for final consideration.
Hearing no objections, Senator Hagedorn is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I apologize for this being the Marv Hagedorn morning. However, things just kind of lined up that way. Senate Bill 1044, I suspect most of us had emails over the summer from a very nice lady that explained to all of us how there are now kits that are available for two-wheeled motorcycles to make them into, basically it's a four-wheel motorcycle. There are little outriggers that go on the kit while still maintaining the drive wheel. I suspect a lot of us, when we received that email and read through it, went, oh, okay. Well, I happened to be, right after that email, I happened to be crossing a street here in Boise, and an elderly couple came riding up on a Honda Goldwing, pulling a trailer, and as they came up to the stop sign, as they started to slow down, these two little outrigger wheels automatically came down and put themselves on the roadway, and they came to a stop. The gentleman didn't have to put his feet down to keep the bike balanced. It just stopped. And then after the light turned green, they started to take off, and as they got up to speed, these two little wheels pulled themselves back in and kind of tucked them in under the saddlebags. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. And come to find out, there are a number of different kits that rely on the rear drive wheel of a motorcycle to continue to power the motorcycle, and these outrigger kits help stabilize motorcycles for drivers that might be disabled, drivers that might be a little unsteady in balance as we all get more mature. That tends to happen. And so to allow a lot of these folks to continue to ride their bikes, they want to move to these kits. So this young lady brought this information to us and said, you know, we really need to redefine what we recognize as a motorcycle, which is now 3 wheels. Well, when we put these kits on, it becomes 4 wheels, and we've put our law enforcement folks in between a rock and a hard place. They see it looks like a motorcycle, but they see these other 2 wheels. Now it's 4 wheels. They know the definition is 3 wheels. So basically, this is cleaning that up and allowing that definition to say, as long as a motorcycle was designed with 2 wheels and an aftermarket kit is placed on that motorcycle that adds 2 more wheels, making it a 4-wheel vehicle, it's not a car, but it's still a motorcycle. So this is really a pretty simple change in a definition, and I think will help clarify for our law enforcement folks. So with that, Mr. President, debate is open.
For the debate, Senate Bill 1044. Senator Fulcher.
Mr. President, would the good senator from 14 yield a question?
Senator Hagedorn.
Good Senator yields.
Yield. Senator Fulcher for the inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I think I know the answer, good senator from 14, but I'm not positive. Is the purpose and is the importance of the definition have to do with insurance and how they're licensed and the taxation on the license and the insurance? Am I understanding that correctly?
Senator Hagedorn.
Mr. President, good senator from 22, the main reason is for law enforcement and for registration of the vehicle. In Idaho code, a car is registered as a 4-wheel vehicle. So law enforcement is seeing some of these motorcycles that have the original 2 wheels, the drive wheel, and then the 2 outriggers, and by code, it should actually be registered as a car or a pickup. And so by redefining a motorcycle as an originally designed 2-wheel vehicle with 2 wheels added for stability, then it's still allowed to be registered as a motorcycle, and it allows ITD to continue to register them as a motorcycle, and we don't get the automobile registration confused.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good senator from 14.
Senator Durst.
Mr. President, would the good gentleman yield to for a question?
Senator Hagedorn.
Gentleman yield.
Senator Durst for the inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good Senator, my question is, just thinking through this, there are those motorcycles that have 2 wheels in the front and 1 in the back. Is this going to change that now that we're saying 4, but the 2 have to be added after the fact? Are those 3-wheeled vehicles still going to be able to meet the requirement of being a motorcycle?
Senator Hagedorn.
Mr. President, good senator from 18, it won't affect those originally designed 3-wheel vehicles. It will just allow for a modification of the 2-wheel vehicles.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Hagedorn is recognized. Closed debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Debate is closed.
Debate being closed. Question is, Senate Bill 1044 passes Senate. Senator Fulcher.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the roll call vote used for the final passage of Senate Bill 1024 now be used for the final passage of Senate Bill 1044.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 absent, excused, majority haven't voted in the affirmative. Senate Bill 1044 is passed. Senate, their correction to title. Hearing none, the title is approved. Senate Bill 1044 will be transmitted to the House. Senate now has for final consideration House Bill 16. The Secretary will read the bill.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill number 16 by Health and Welfare Committee.
Mr. President.
Senator Schmidt.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that further reading of House Bill 16 be dispensed with, and the journal show it has been read at length a 3rd time, section by section, and placed before us for final consideration.
Hearing no objection, Senator Schmidt is recognized to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. House Bill 16, like quite a few other bills we've had today, is a fix of a bill we had last year. I got to give you some background. The state of Idaho has a prescription monitoring program. This was a very proactive thing, started 10, 15 years ago as a way to try to keep track of controlled substance prescriptions. If you're not aware, the United States, as well as the state of Idaho, has a significant problem with increasing accidental deaths from prescription narcotics. This prescription monitoring program is a way to keep track of the prescriptions that are written, both by licensed prescribers as well as who receives these prescriptions. In the last few years, kind of the Idaho way of solving this problem rather than coming to the legislature, there's been a work group comprised of pharmacists, physicians, nurses, law enforcement, the Governor's Office of Drug Policy, in an attempt to bring these people together and deal with this problem. So last year we had legislation that allowed the the Board of Pharmacy, which monitors the prescription monitoring program, the PMP, allowed them to share information among entities. Well, that legislation last year got looked at by lawyers, and so we're back here today, and lawyers have given us advice. And no disrespect to the senator from 16, or 33, or 12, or 13, or 10, but I believe we've probably gotten good advice. And the section that you're looking at that is the change in this law is a clarification that lawyers feel will allow the people, the professionals who use this, to talk to each other and to share this information in a confidential, appropriate, professional way to help reduce abuse of prescription narcotics. So I'd be glad to answer questions, but I urge your support of this bill. Debate is open.
Further debate on House Bill 16. Senator Nini.
Mr. President, would the good senator from 5 yield a question?
Senator Schmidt, would you yield?
Yes, Mr.
Senator
President.
Nini for the inquiry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good senator, does it require the person getting the prescription, because of HIPAA rules and requirements, to give an authorization for this information, or will it run into any issues with HIPAA requirements?
This, Mr. President, to
Senator
respond, the sharing of this information is totally HIPAA compliant.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, good senator.
Further debate? Hearing no further debate, Senator Schmidt is recognized to close debate.
Thank you. Glad to follow Senator from 14 with this interrupted morning. I appreciate your support of this bill. Thank you.
Debate is closed. Debate being closed, question is, shall House Bill 16 pass Senate? Senator Fulcher.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent. The roll call vote used for the final passage of Senate Bill 1024 now be used for the final passage of House Bill 16.
Hearing no objection, roll call shows 33 ayes, no nays, 2 abstentions excused. Majority haven't voted in the affirmative. House Bill 16 is passed the Senate. The correction title, hearing none, titles approved. House Bill 16 will be returned to the House. Senator Winder.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask unanimous consent. Senate advance the 15th order of business.
Without objection, the Senate will advance 15th order of business, miscellaneous business, and adjournment.
Mr. President.
Senator Winder.
Thank you. We are going to soon adjourn until the hour of 11 a.m. on Monday. We're going to come in a little bit earlier because we've got lots of things coming over, and we need to get our work done. And this is now a time for any other announcements or introductions, if there's anybody left up there that you need to introduce.
Announcements.
Mr. President, for an introduction.
Senator Sidaway.
Thank you. Senators, it's not very often someone from my legislative district comes over here, but this week we've been honored to have been protected by Trooper Chris Barnes from Rigby, and he's been here maintaining law and order in the Capitol along with many troopers throughout the legislative session. And I was wondering if you could just help me express our thanks to him and the Idaho State troopers that spend their time here.
Senator
Mr.
Winder.
President, would the senator from 35 yield to a question?
Senator Sidaway, would you yield?
Mr. President, I will, but before I do yield, he's going to escort me to Mud Lake as soon as this session convenes today, or ends today.
Lights on or off?
It depends on whether he's trying to keep up or not. That answers my question, Mr. President.
Senator Brackett.
Thank you, Mr. President, for an announcement.
You have the floor.
The Senate Transportation Committee will hold a special meeting Monday, February 11th at 1:15 in a regular meeting room, West WW 53. Purpose of the meeting is to RS some bills to meet the deadline. We have several RSs, but if anyone else has an RS they want to get in to our committee, get it turned in to the Transportation Secretary. Thank you, Mr. President.
Further announcements? Senator Winder.
Mr. President, just one point of personal privilege. Our majority leader will be back on Monday. Will you make sure that he knows he was missed? Please? I would appreciate it. So, and with that, Mr. President, I would move that the Senate adjourn until the hour of 11 a.m. Monday morning.
Senator Stinnett.
Mr. President, I second the motion.
Moved and seconded. The Senate adjourn until 11 a.m. Monday. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned.
Welcome to Idaho